When Manchester United announced Ruben Amorim, fans dared to dream again. A young, dynamic coach known for building teams and trusting youth. But reality hit hard, with over £600 million spent in 2 years under Erik ten Hag and a reduced budget ahead. Ruben Amorim inherits chaos. Can he rebuild Manchester United? Or is this just another chapter of frustration?
Does he need a war chest urgently in January?
So the money just isn't really there. They've made cutbacks across the board.
Financial problems are well documented, and they are going to get worse because they've got a £2 billion stadium to pay for.
This is an average United team. All the stats back it up.
There isn't a Keane equivalent. No. There isn't a Cantona equivalent.
No.
Every one of these players should be under the impression they're going to have to perform.
In my opinion, yeah, every single one of the players at Man United aren't playing to the level that they should be.
If Ruben Amorim is watching this, as he will be, trying to assess the scale of the job that he has in front of him, what do you think he will have come away thinking?
He should have signed a longer contract.
Because this is going to take longer?
There's a long way back for this team. I know a manager will come in, you hope he will get more out of this group.
This is a squad stuck in its ways. Just the thought of moving away from 4-2-3-1 gives them nightmares. And the board, they're convinced everything's fine, that the right coach can somehow make it all work. Funny thing is, 2 years ago, Ralf Rangnick took one look at this squad and said,
and for me it's clear, it's not enough to do some little minor amendments, some little issues here and there, some minor cosmetic things. No, this is, in medicine you would see, this is an operation at the open heart.
There just seems to be a real lack of direction across the playing style and the philosophy, so for me it is a complete rebuild.
Now they're handing Ruben Amorim a stethoscope and asking him to work miracles on a shoestring budget.
Ruben, you're the 6th permanent manager of Manchester United since the club last won the Premier League title. What gives you the belief that you can be the one to restore the club to that level?
I'm a little bit a dreamer, and I believe in myself. I also believe in the club. I think we have the same idea, the same mindset. I feel ready for the new challenge. I'm not naive. I know that it's going to be very different, very tough, but I feel that I'm ready.
Job number one has got to be to stop this rot of players coming to Manchester United who were fancied at times before they came because other clubs wanted them as well, and them not being able to achieve the levels of potential that they demonstrated before they signed, or even the performance levels before they signed when they were at other clubs. You know, so the players that he inherits, which he's going to be stuck with for the next 8 months, he has to try and get the maximum out of them, and that's going to be a big job.
An average team, perhaps, but the expectations still sky high. And the reality is that history weighs heavy on these players, and that's the heart of the issue.
I wouldn't want to be in the trenches with them players. I just wouldn't want to be. I don't see it. Do I know all these personally? Absolutely not. But I know my eyes don't lie to me. I see these players today, even to go 1-0 up today, you're thinking, are they going to see this game up? No. It's not about liking managers, because people are quick to throw at me going, oh, I fell out with managers. But I tell you, when I don't on the pitch, I didn't want to let them down, even if I despised them. And that's got to come down to your DNA. These players haven't got the DNA, a lot of them, of a Man United player, in my eyes.
Legends like Brian Robson, Roy Keane and Nemanja Vidic embodied leadership and identity, qualities this squad sorely lacks.
But didn't these players get Ten Hag the sack? Isn't that the reason he's no longer at the club? Because the team was down in 13th or 14th, they couldn't win, they couldn't play, they couldn't keep hold of the ball, like you sort of just said then. So how can you believe in players who basically have failed so badly for the last gentleman?
This sentiment sums it up. The players' lack of fight is as glaring as their tactical shortcomings. It's a valid question. If these players couldn't perform for Ten Hag, what's to say Ruben Amorim will get more out of them?
It's a belief, like the word. You have to believe. I believe in them, because when I start this week, you can say that is 1 week, 3 trainings. They change the coach. Of course, everybody is excited, but they are open to different things. Is the only thing that I ask: hard work. And you have to believe in the new idea. And I felt that. So, until they prove me wrong, I believe in the players.
He's likely thinking, what have I signed up for? Ruben Amorim's confidence is undeniable, but even the most seasoned managers would hesitate to take on this challenge. An open-heart operation might be underselling it. United's problems go beyond tactics. They're systemic. rooted in years of poor planning and even worse execution. But with a limited budget and fractured squad, can he perform surgery with a butter knife?
Since day one, we will start with our identity. Of course, we are going to prepare the games, but we will focus a lot in our game model, how to play, how to press, these small things, small details.
And then there's the defensive elephant in the room. A high defensive line. Ruben Amorim's hallmark needs pace, intelligence, and composure. Does this squad have any of those traits?
They've got players that are superb on the counter-attack, but can Manchester United be that? Can he accept that? I don't. They either don't want to or can't or don't understand pressing as a team. They can't do it. They're pretty pathetic at it.
The first thing, I think we have to be better athletes. That is something that you can acknowledge when we are here and we see the data.
You mean fitter than they currently are?
And teams play through them and they find themselves totally exposed in the middle of the pitch because they don't have then the physicality of the midfield players to cope with that.
I think we lose the ball too fast. We win the ball, we lose the ball. And you cannot press high all the time. So you have to keep the ball.
1, 2, 3 players switching off, then it's a problem. And that is what we have to solve. It has to go quickly. We can't wait so long, and players has to take their responsibility in such defending moments.
This one idea, what is this one idea?
One idea is that when the ball is in one place and we are with the ball or without the ball, every player has the same idea.
It sounds simple. One idea, one philosophy. But for a team so divided in execution and confidence, Ruben Amorim's task is anything but straightforward. Amorim loves playing a high defensive line. It's what made him successful at Sporting. But at United, the personnel tell a different story. Harry Maguire and company lack the pace and technical ability to execute this strategy effectively. To make this work, Ruben Amorim will need to reimagine the backline or rebuild it entirely. Still, if anyone can make something out of this mess, it's Ruben Amorim. This is a guy who turned Sporting into title winners, promoted 25 academy players in just 4 years, and rebuilt his team time and time again. But can he do it here? Can he really fix Manchester United? Or is this just another chapter in the club's never-ending saga of chaos? Let's talk formations. Over the years, managers like Ralf Rangnick and Erik ten Hag have tried to implement new systems, Rangnick's 4-2-2-2 or Ten Hag's 4-3-3. But this squad always reverts to its safety blanket, 4-2-3-1. Why? Because it's comfortable, and the players seem incapable of adapting to anything else. Amorim's preferred 3-4-3 requires dynamic wing-backs and defenders who are quick, comfortable on the ball, and positionally intelligent. Right now, United have none of that. At Sporting, Amorim thrived with defenders who ticked all the boxes. Fast, composed under pressure, and excellent at building from the back. Players like Goncalo Inacio, Sebastian Coates, and Ousmane Diomande knew how to recycle possession and launch attacks from deep, seamlessly fitting into Amorim's philosophy. Contrast that with United, where most of the current options struggle to play the ball out of defence effectively.
You look at them and think, which one of those guys is going to play in the middle of that back three? Right. Which one is suited to do that? Who has the skill set to do that? And then you go, well, who are then the athletes that are going to play on the outside as this part of this back three? Where are those guys?
Leny Yoro, a player yet to make his debut, feels like a new signing. Known for his composure and speed, Yoro might just be the kind of defender Amorim needs to execute his high defensive line.
I actually think Martinez in this position, I've mentioned this before, we got him.
Might suit him?
Might suit him, gives you that balance with a left foot. I can't see De Ligt or Maguire being in the wide position. They will not be able to cope. So I don't think De Ligt and Maguire could play in the same back three, because whoever was in the wide position will get really exposed now.
And then the two wide guys have to be able to get up and down.
for 90 minutes.
Okay.
And put the miles in.
Ugarte, who has hardly kicked a ball for Ten Hag, we know he knows him. His best football he's had when he's been at Sporting.
I think, again, going further forward, Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford, does the system actually suit both of them? Does it suit one or the other? Because they are completely different types of players. And what type of player does Amorim normally use?
Because a lot of people now talk about the 3-4-3 and the 4-3-3 and all that stuff. But when I think as a player or as a team of Manchester United, is not a system of formation. It's like the character of the players, the way they see the club. So we have to focus on that before the everything of the how we play, how we press. The most important thing for me at this moment is to create the principles, the identity, and the character that we had in the past.
If United can't adapt, not just in formations but in mindset, they'll keep falling further behind the likes of City, no matter who's in charge. And that's a problem even the best managers can't solve without the right tools. One area where Amorim's tactical acumen will be tested is the attack. Alejandro Garnacho, the team's top scorer in the league, has just 3 goals. 3. To put that into perspective, under Ruben Amorim, Sporting managed 39 goals in the same time frame. That's more than triple United's output.
Players are missing great chances and they're walking back and you got to get a hold of these lads, hit the target. These are big chances, these are top quality players. Missing open goals. Dallo missed a chance last week and people keep telling me he's a good player. Put the ball in the back of the net, keep your manager's job for another couple of weeks at least. And they're missing, they're all walking back and they're kind of apologising, sorry. Stop you saying sorry, put the ball in the back of the net.
So how does Amorim fix this? Well, his track record with the strikers offers a glimmer of hope. At Sporting, he transformed Victor Gyökeres into a goal machine. Victor Gyökeres wasn't just scoring for fun, he was thriving in a system that played to his strength. Amorim's approach to coaching forwards is meticulous, focusing on movement, pressing and exploiting space. But can he work that same magic at United?
I'd love it if Ruben Amorim come in and said, you're playing down the middle for me.
Yeah.
You're going to be my centre forward.
Yeah.
And you're going to do what you did last year when you got 30 goals. Marcus Rashford, do you really want to be what a lot of people think you can be, or are you going to stroll around looking like you don't enjoy your job, your life and everything else all around you?
Ruben Amorim said Rashford can play in all 3 front positions, but will most likely play as a central striker. But is Rashford suited for that role? Historically, he's been at his best, cutting in from the left. Marcus Rashford's early goal in Amorim's debut match, an away clash against Ipswich that ended in a 1-1 draw, was described as utopian by Peter Drury. Scored just 84 seconds after kickoff, it was a moment of brilliance that seemed to encapsulate the promise of Amorim's attacking philosophy. The goal embodied fluidity, precision, and intent, qualities that Amorim's system demands.
Everybody knows he's in there. That's the disappointing thing for me with Marcus Rashford. You know it's there. He's the envy of so many, being a forward for Manchester United, and I think he should absolutely adore what he's doing. I don't get that vibe.
With Marcus Rashford's preference for cutting in from the left, the adaptation to a central role will be a test of both player and manager.
Marcus scored 32 seasons ago, which was his career best, and he's slid since then. He's not even in the England setup. Can you see something in him that you can get him back to those levels?
Yeah, I will try to help him. That position is not the best one for him, especially in the game like that. We have to kick with high pressure. We have to kick the ball so many times, and he was like fighting with 2 giants. So we'll try to find the right solution for him as for the other players. But he has to be Marcus first of all to try to return to that moment. And then you will have the help of all the staff with all the club and all the fans, because he's a Manchester United boy, but he has to be the first one to really want.
But now we sort of have to see if Rashford is going to have a long-term career at Manchester United, because he's already had a good career, but he needs to now show he deserves to be there. He needs to sort of hit the ground running under Ruben Amorim.
Amorim must also find a way to revitalise Joshua Zirkzee, whose confidence has waned. But the big question is whether he can rediscover his form under a manager who demands intensity and adaptability. And integrate Rasmus Højlund, whose raw potential and work rate offer promise but require refinement to meet the tactical demands of Amorim's pressing philosophy.
It's not a simple task. I think that there will be certain things they'll be looking for, and one of them is to get a tune out of Højlund. He's clearly a talented boy.
Then there's the youth pipeline, which is already proving crucial. Ethan Wheatley has been training with the first team for a while now, and Chido Obi Martin offers another exciting option for the future. With Amorim's history of trusting and developing young talent, it wouldn't be surprising to see these players given opportunities to prove themselves. But can Amorim really afford to rely on youth for such a critical role? The loan market could be another option. Amorim's proven ability to work with developing players might make this a viable short-term fix. And let's not forget the possibility of bringing in proven talent. Speculation around players like Kolo Muani or Victor Osimhen has already started. Both would bring pace, physicality, and finishing ability, key traits for Amorim's preferred striker. Osimhen, in particular, could thrive in a high-pressing, counter-attacking system. The only problem? United's financial constraints might make these moves difficult. Ultimately, Amorim's ability to get United firing again will come down to a mix of coaching, tactical adjustments, and smart recruitment. Whether it's revitalising Rashford or Højlund, giving the young strikers a shot, or finding the perfect fit in the transfer market, this is the next big hurdle he'll have to overcome. One thing's for sure. If Amorim can solve United's scoring woes on a tight budget, it'll be the first step toward turning this team around.
We have to improve the recruitment, but improved recruitment is the process, so you have to have the data.
I think that at Manchester United, the culture shift is going to be such that we're going to see less of a reliance on expensive busted flushes like Casemiro. Amorim doesn't like to play that way. He doesn't need superstar players. He needs players who are workers, who fit into a system, who take instruction. They might not be A-list, and that pursuit of A-list players is really what cost Manchester United over the past decade.
Ruben Amorim has never shied away from trusting young players. At Sporting, he promoted 25 academy players to the first team in just 4 years, a remarkable achievement that underscores his belief in youth development. It's no surprise that, within days of taking charge at Manchester United, he promoted 16-year-old Godwill Konkoki to first team training. While bold, this move also highlights the lack of depth in the squad. The question now is, will he continue to dip into the academy to find solutions? Players like Chido Obi Martin and Bendito Mantato have caught the eye in the youth ranks. Chido, a versatile attacker, and Mantato, a 16-year-old who's impressed at both right wing and right back, could provide fresh options in Amorim's system. But trusting such young players in a team desperate for results is a high-risk, high-reward strategy. Amorim's philosophy is clear though.
I don't want to say that we need time because we are a young team. They are prepared. They are prepared to cope with the demands of playing for Manchester United. They should be, because they are here.
They are prepared to cope with the demands of Manchester United. They should be, because they are here. He doesn't see age as a barrier to contribution. United's academy, historically one of the best in the world, is brimming with potential. Amad Diallo, for example, was raised in a system similar to Amorim's at Atalanta, making him a perfect fit for the inside forward role in a 3-4-3. His creativity, movement, and ability to link play could be vital. Then there's Alejandro Garnacho, currently United's most dangerous forward. Amorim must figure out how to maximise Garnacho's directness and flair, while balancing the need to develop other young players. But youth alone won't carry United. Amorim needs to find the right balance between youthful energy and experienced leadership. Ruben Amorim's Manchester United journey begins with a harsh truth. The club is broke. Years of reckless spending, over £600 million in just 2 seasons, has left little room for splashy signings. Amorim isn't stepping into a club that can hand him a blank cheque. Instead, he's tasked with working smart, squeezing the most out of what's already there, and finding creative ways to strengthen the squad. This fresh start also comes with a different approach to recruitment. Amorim is no stranger to shopping in the bargain section. At Sporting, he thrived on finding undervalued players and turning them into superstars. With Manchester United's new recruitment structure in place, we could see him unearth players no one's heard of, who then go on to perform wonders. It's a bold strategy, but one the club is banking on. United's financial situation forces Amorim to be resourceful, but that's where he shines. His history suggests he'll combine youth promotion with shrewd signings. The fans might not see £100 million superstars walk through the door, but they could see players who fit the system and work wonders. Players who other clubs overlooked, but become vital cogs under Amorim's guidance. And let's not forget the potential within the squad itself. Amorim's immediate challenge is to improve the players he already has, making them perform at levels we haven't seen in years. If he can unlock Rashford's consistency, reignite Xerxes' confidence, and continue Garnacho's development, the club could finally offload underperforming players and reinvest wisely. This reset isn't just about saving money, it's about creating a team with a clear identity, something United has lacked for far too long.
It will take time. We know that we need time, but we have to win time. To win time is win games. But the most important thing for me is identity. We have to start since day one, without fear, without thinking that they are not used to play like this.
Amorim knows that results will buy him time, and time will allow him to implement his master plan. Despite the chaos and challenges, there's plenty of reason to feel optimistic. This is a manager who's proven, time and time again, that he can rebuild squads, adapt his tactics, and develop young players into stars. At Sporting, he didn't just create a team that won titles, he created a system, an identity, and a legacy. Think about the players who flourished under Amorim's guidance: Manuel Ugarte, João Palhinha, Victor Gyökeres, Pedro Porro, and Nuno Mendes. These weren't household names when Amorim started working with them, but through his system, his coaching, and his unwavering belief in their potential, they became players capable of performing at the highest level. That's the magic Amorim brings. A blend of tactical genius and a talent for nurturing individuals to thrive within a collective. Now, imagine what he could do at United. If given the time, Amorim has the ability to reshape this club's identity. His playing style, dynamic, aggressive, and fluid, could finally bring the excitement back to Old Trafford. And with United's world-class academy at his disposal, he has the tools to build something sustainable. Players like Alejandro Garnacho, Amad Diallo, and even newer talents like Chido Obi Martin. Godwill Konkoki or Bendito Mantato could become the foundation of a team that doesn't just compete, but thrives. The financial constraints could even work in Amorim's favour. By leaning on the academy and developing homegrown talent, he could save the club millions while restoring its reputation for producing top players. This isn't just about cutting costs, it's about creating a team that reflects the club's core values: youth, innovation, and a fearless approach to the game. But this is where patience comes in. Amorim is taking on a monumental task, and while fans want instant results, building something meaningful takes time. If the supporters and the board can back him, and if the players buy into his philosophy, Amorim has the potential to bring Manchester United back to the top, not with flashy signings, but with a team that truly plays for the badge. The path ahead won't be easy, but for the first time in a while, it feels like there's a plan. And with Amorim at the helm, maybe, just maybe, that plan could lead to a brighter future for Manchester United. But let's not kid ourselves, it's not going to be a quick turnaround. The club is broke, the squad is mismatched, and there are plenty of doubters waiting to pounce on the first sign of failure. But if there's one thing Amorim has shown us throughout his career, it's that he thrives in chaos. When others see roadblocks, he sees opportunities. He's a manager who builds, who develops, and who creates teams with an identity. And isn't that exactly what Manchester United needs? The big question, though, is can he succeed with what's available? The short answer is yes, but not without challenges. Amorim's ability to maximise players, find hidden gems, and lean on youth could be the perfect formula for a club that's been stuck in a cycle of short-term fixes. He has the tactical know-how, the courage to make bold decisions, and the vision to build a team that plays not just with structure, but with purpose. The real key will be patience. If Amorim can get the squad to buy into his ideas, and if the fans can see that progress, it could buy him the time he needs to truly implement his master plan. This won't be about instant success or flashy signings. It'll be about graft, trust, and long-term growth. And crucially, if he can improve the current players and generate funds from offloading the deadwood, the rebuild could fund itself.
No one is pretending this is easy. He's taken over Manchester United midway through a very difficult season. Clearly, they're under a new sort of majority influence ownership, and the squad is a mishmash of the many different managers and sort of recruitment experts they've had in the past. So
he seems pretty special. He does seem like the special one for now, but as you say, he said it himself, he's just the right one at the moment. Now, I think we've all been impressed from what we've seen from Ruben Amorim and what he's done at Sporting and what he's brought to that club after years of not winning, and winning them trophies and winning titles.
He looks like he's got a plan, which is a pretty good starting point, because by the end of Erik ten Hag's time at Manchester United, he looked very much like a man who was absolutely devoid of a plan or ideas. What United need, of course, is the right coach, the right manager. But
he believes in himself, and I think that's something we've all really found refreshing, is how much he backs himself. The 20-minute sit-down interview done with Gary Neville is one that I think we all watched, kind of like, okay, this man has a lot to say, this man knows what he wants to bring and what he wants to change at Manchester United. And the quote that really stuck out for me was, I'll do my thing, and I'm not going to go and try and find out what went wrong with the managers previous to me. That's not my job, but I will do it my way. I will set culture, we will get our identity, and we will move forward like that.
Obviously, it's a good thing for Manchester United. They're all laughing, they're all happy again. It proves the point that it wasn't going anywhere fast with Ten Hag. I think Ruben Amorim is a very good manager.
My first impression are really good. His social skills are really good. He's on point. Everybody understands what he says, like, directly.
I think the manager's come in with new ideas, fresh ideas, great energy, and I think obviously the first game was tough because we wanted to go there and get the win, but I'm sure you'll see a lot of improvement from now to the end of the season.
And of course there's a lot of excitement as well with Ruben's arrival. To these fans who are very excited and waiting for changes, how much management do they have to do in terms of expectations and especially patience?
Expectations are really high at this club every time, and patience is something that doesn't work in football. So not only me, but I think also the staff is aware that they came to one of the biggest clubs in the world. They know the expectation is going to be high. Some people will doubt, others will think that he will come and do everything straight away and be brilliant. So he knows what people is expecting from him. We as a players know what is about playing for Man United, the expectations, the pressure and everything. We just have to deal with that.
And this Manchester United, it doesn't matter the last years. You feel the weight of the history, and you want to be part of that. You know, you feel that if you win here, it will be different than in every club in England. You can feel.
If he can get it right, the fans might not just see progress. They could witness a revolution in how Manchester United rebuilds itself from the ground up.
Half of the stadium doesn't know me, and you can say I came from Portugal, and half of the stadium doesn't know me, and I have done nothing for this club yet. But the way they support me in the beginning, I felt that I'm not alone. I'm like one of them now. And it was really special, and I hope not to disappoint my supporters.
So, back to the title. Can Amorim fix Manchester United? The answer is yes, if we let him. It won't be easy, it won't be quick, but the pieces are there for him to create something special. The question is, will the club, the fans, and the squad back him enough to see it through? What do you think, United fans? Is Amorim the right man to lead us back to glory, or are we setting ourselves up for more heartbreak? Let me know in the comments, and if you're excited about this journey, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Let's see if we can finally turn this ship around together.